Welcome to Don't Quote Me on That. One day we will have an intro, but today is not that day. Hello everyone, this is Elanor.
And this is Kalina.
And welcome back to Don't Quote Me on That, where we kind of talk about movies, but we mostly talk about whatever we want.
We mostly talk about albums, is what I have concluded. I think honestly we might have to change the what's that thing called? Motto,
Slogan.
Slogan. There we go.
Yeah, we're not going to.
We're not going to, but that would require me to edit things, which I'm not doing. So
yeah, I know. But today we're talking about our favorite movie albums. We did this a couple weeks ago with 303, where we kind of compiled what we believe to be our perfect album. And now we're doing it with 5 Seconds of Summer, who we also just talked about. But to be fair...
I also want to clarify, real quick. It's not like we're doing this like if we were their managers or whatever, and we were doing a best of album. It's not that. It's like if we were 303, or in this case, 5 Seconds of Summer, what do we think would be the perfect album? Or like even a listener, but like what we think would be the perfect album in terms of vibes, storytelling, all that jazz. But not like a, what's popular best of sort of shebang.
Yeah, because you can just Google a listicle and they can tell you what their most popular songs are, and that would put us out of a job.
You just open up Spotify and like, boom, it's there. Whatever the top listen songs are. So, and then what were our other rules? We came up with a new one, which like wasn't a problem in the 303 one, but we said no covers, and then we could do collabs, but only if they were the main artist, not the featured artist.
Mm-hmm.
And 7 songs, no more than 7 songs, because Eleanor and I have a very firm belief that an album should not be longer than 10 songs. But we figured that 10 would be a lot for us to go through 10, like 20 songs total. So 7 and 7.
Yeah, that would make the episode 2 hours long, which, to be fair, sometimes it's
going to be anyway. But 7 will account for like if we have no crossover, it's still not too long. But if we do have crossover, it's not like too short either.
Do you think we're gonna have crossover? We didn't have any crossover for 303, which is interesting.
I really don't know anymore. I was going to say no initially, but I thought we would have like a lot of crossover on 3 and 3, and we had none. So it's to the birds right now. I really have no clue.
I think we'll have at least one crossover, and I'll tell you why when we get there, because I get to go first this time. But you're gonna have to wait till track 5 for that.
I wouldn't have said yes initially, but also I'm very surprised by the album I put together. Like, I never would have guessed I would have put these songs on here. There was one song on there that I knew off the jump was going on this album, and it did. But the rest of them were a surprise. One of them was a song I heard for the first time while I was doing this.
Me too, actually.
So, at least we're good.
Two of them.
At least we're on the same page.
Okay. Yeah. We ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't come up with a name for this one, and I thought a name...
Okay, sorry. No, I forgot. I did that, but I don't remember where I wrote it down. I think I threw away the paper I wrote it down. I'm moving, so a lot of my stuff is just kind of all over the place. Sorry, you go. No name.
I thought a name would come to me like it did for 303, and so I was just not doing one. So we're not doing one.
All right, fair enough. Mine's kind of tentative. I had options.
You could just pick one and go with it.
Yeah.
You have time, anyway. All right. So for this one, I decided it's a collection of songs that I really like, but also I want to do a little bit of a story here. And I originally wanted to do a story because I wanted to start with a certain song and then kind of expand on that universe. But then unfortunately that did change. So my opener was originally going to be English Love Affair, but I was kind of only doing that to annoy Kalina.
I was hoping and praying you wouldn't put that. I knew you were going to, but still, there was a little piece of me that was not that song.
But it's not. Don't worry. That song is not on this album. I just needed to say that it was. So my first song, we're bringing it back to, unfortunately, what might be their worst album. Sounds Good, Feels Good. With Castaway.
Okay, we have crossover because I love that song. That song is a masterpiece. It does not deserve. I don't think Sounds Good feel like. I didn't listen to it enough to be like this is their worst album because I was pretty dead set on 5 Seconds of Summer 5 being their worst album. But like after a few lessons, I'm kind of like they're kind of tied right now for me. But Castaway deserves everything
Castaway
in the world.
is the honestly might be the best song ever.
That was the song I knew off the jump I was putting on here. I don't know where it was going, but it was going on this album.
So Castaway is a pirate-themed heartbreak song.
The only thing pirate about that song is the name. They know that, right?
They talk about ships and well, one of the lines talks about your eyes being closed, which is an obvious reference to the eye patches that pirates wear.
I hate you. Continue.
But it's basically, I'll just pick one little line to encapsulate the start of our story here. And by one line, I mean three. It's young love, closed the chapter, there's no ever after, fell fast, ended faster. Okay, so they were in love, and then now they're not. Are we on the same page?
I think so.
Also, this song is just beautiful, amazing, best ever.
So good. We talked about this when, sorry, I don't want to commentary thing, but just real quick, we talked about this when we talked about 5 Seconds of Summer 5 and how Luke was doing all the singing, for at least that I remember. He was doing like 90% of the singing. And like, I think a lot of their older stuff, there's a more even balance between the three of them. Luke, Callum, and Michael. Ashton doesn't sing as much. Ashton can sing, but he doesn't sing as much, obviously. But like, there's more of a balance between three of them. And this one, I think, I don't know, I like their songs better when it's not just Luke and Luke and Luke. Especially old Michael's voice off of this song. I'm like, I'm tragic and sad too. Yeah, that's interesting. You opened your album with that. It's not my opener. I'll tell you that.
I think it's a banger. I do think you also have to start.
It is a banger. When I get to mine, I'll tell you why I wouldn't have picked it for an opener. But like, I do agree, it is a very strong start. And like, we talk about album openers all the time. It needs to be something that grabs you. I think it needs to be fun. The only time it works for it to be a slow song if you have like a very clear, definitive sound. Like, let's say you kind of reach a peak and then come back down, or if the whole album's quiet, then it's okay. But I think other than that, it needs to like grab you. So no, Castaways. I have no notes.
It's grabby. And next, I'm actually breaking my rules a little bit because in 303 I talked about how I like going up a little bit and then down, but I'm bringing it right back down with my second song.
Oh, jeez.
It's sort of slow, but it's not really. It's fun. It's off of an album that I think might be my favorite, but I'm not quite sure. Young Blood, with Want You Back.
I just re-added that song to my playlist recently. That's a good one.
It's good. It's basically about how you used to be with somebody and now you're not, and you want them back. Do you see the link between Castaway and Want You Back?
Yeah, I on the 303 album, I tried to go for a story the first time, and that just like didn't work out for me. So here, like, I went for a story, and I think it worked out. And I like where yours is going, like, kind of in a similar direction. I just think we start at different points.
Okay. I'm a little worried, but also I'm not, because I have a lot of 5 Sauce 5 on here, and I don't think you'd lean towards them a lot. Yeah.
No. I like in Want You Back, the best line is, he says, I remember the roses on your shirt when you told me this would never work.
Yes.
Also, whole bunch of Callum in this, and we all know.
Whole bunch of Callum.
I'm a Callum girl. That's a good one. I like vibe-wise, the songs are fun. Content-wise, you kind of depressing me. So I need us to get to a better place very quickly.
Okay. Well,
or this is going to be like my when I'm depressed and alone album.
No, we bring it back, but like we're in our broken up era right now, right. And we're moving on to my first 5 Sauce 5 track, which is Tears! !
That's one of the ones I did not hate.
Okay,
I might say sometimes I liked it. Not always.
This song is about crying.
Thank you.
I mean, they named it really well.
The opening line is, "There's a hole in the sun, caving in, and I feel it."
Mm-hmm.
I just think I have a hard time taking 5 Seconds of Summer 5 seriously.
Sad,
I see the idea they were going for.
When you put it all together as an album, it's way too much, and they were trying to do.
Yeah. No, you did a good job putting this with like Castaway and Want You Back, which are like great examples of their songwriting. To Tears, I'm like, okay, I'm like, we're kind of, we're in the same vibe. Maybe not as strong, but like same vibe. But yeah, no, 5 Seconds of Summer 5, I was like, what did he say on one song? Cocaine colored wedding dress? Dude.
Yeah, no, that.
Come on.
Mm-mm. I feel like, for the most part, 5 Seconds of Summer doesn't do like slow, sad, like slow ballads. They don't do ballads very well.
Yeah, they're not ballads very well. No,
it's not really their thing, but they do try, and we'll give them credit for that, kind of.
College effort, old college try, as they say. I don't think
but
any of
they
them
didn't go to college,
I think you
so
can tell when you see 5 Seconds of Summer 5.
But Tears
I'm with you.
It's a good one. It's kind of a groove. Basically, in my story, okay, we were together, we broke up, we gonna want you back. Tears is just, I'm sad.
No, I'm with you.
Everybody gets to.
And like, I'm glad it's not like they're all sad songs, but I'm glad it's not just like depression. I'm crying my eyes out for the first 3 songs. Like there is kind of like I'm trying to do something about it. I want you back. And versus now, like, we're going through the stages of grief. I've come to acceptance. I've hit it.
Yes. Also, in Tears, they talk about getting high and crying, which kind of leads us into, the next phase of this relationship, all right?
All right.
So, now,
where are we at?
For my next track, here's where we are. We're both, I don't know who we is, but, we're both partying. We're both going out a lot. Perhaps we come across each other and, we feel the connection that we once had. And what do we start doing? It.
I cannot take you seriously. What? I forgot. Like, what are you even talking about? What song are we on? What song is this?
I haven't announced that. I was setting up the context.
No, actually, I don't even want to hear the song. I want you to just continue the story.
This is also one of my, honestly, one of my favorite 5 Seconds of Summer songs ever. I knew this song. I had to put it on this album just because I love it. You know that TikTok trend where it's like, songs you can't listen to in my car? I almost crashed my car listening to this. Okay. Which is interesting because the song's only like 2 minutes long. So you
do a lot of damage in that time.
It's called Blender.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I am shocked and disappointed. Not disappointed, but like, I'm shocked. That's interesting. I like Blender on one listen, and then the next listen I'm like, no.
Just the chorus moves so quickly that it just feels good to my brain.
The chorus is fantastic, yeah.
Yeah. But lines I'd like to pull out for my little story is it lonely where you are with a knife inside your heart? I feel it too. Is it just the way we are? I tried for you. And also they talk about wolves, which is always a plus for me.
Elanor does like a wolf reference.
I do like a wolf reference. But yeah, also now we're stressed and depressed and we're going around again in an emotional blender. So, things are not great, but they are back together in one very broad sense of the word.
I like that we've gotten, like I said, we're going through the stages of grief. So we've passed acceptance. We're kind of like in this new chapter. I like that it's a bop, but it's still not like super happy either. Yeah. We haven't quite gotten there. We're still, while we're like, we're not supposed to be together. We really shouldn't be together. I'm taking what I can get and I'm going to enjoy it for all it's worth. I just feel like in this song, I like the choruses and I like the verses. I just don't always feel like they go together. Sometimes when I listen to it, I'm like, it's kind of a different vibe.
Not really, but the chorus is so good that I don't care.
No, and I think the chorus really adds the levity to your album that we need. Because like I've been a little emo these first 3 songs, so this is kind of getting me back to where I need to be. Okay. Here for a good time, not a long time, and all that.
We're not really back to happy, I would say.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Elanor, this is song number 4. There's 7. There's only 3 songs left. I need to be happy at some point in time.
No, we're on 5. We're on 5 now. We've
Exactly. There's 3 songs left. 5, 6, 7.
They pick up. They pick up, sort of. This is a song that I was very worried about that there would be crossover on because you posted on Instagram and this was your caption. Again,
yeah, I was going to tell you. I was like, if you look at my Instagram post.
Yeah. This is called Kill My Time.
I'm going to tell you right now, there's crossover. I like... Here's, for anyone wondering, what happened is Instagram jacked... Oh, first of all of my Instagram captions are song lyrics in some way, shape, or form. Because that's just how I communicate. But Instagram jacked up my post, so I had to repost it. And I was like, hello, if you saw this earlier, can you please pretend you didn't? And everyone was very nice and pretended they didn't. But if you look at it now, I did edit it, so that part's in parentheses now, and it says Kill My Time. I have a theme going.
Of course. No, I totally agree, and I believe it, and I appreciate the dedication. This Kill My Time was also one of the people who helped produce the song, worked heavily with One Direction.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And One Direction another listen.
Continues to work with, well, not continues, but first album worked with Louis Tomlinson and Niall Horan.
Oh, did you see Louis? There was the internet was like blowing up. What was he doing a cover of? The Arctic Monkeys, something. 505, I think. Oh, you didn't? I'll go find a video. I think he was doing a cover of 505, which works with. I didn't realize he sounded like that. I didn't realize that was the accent he had. 10 out of 10, fantastic.
Good. No, I haven't. I'll be honest with you. I've kind of been sleeping a lot lately.
I don't know why it was on my Twitter is the question. I don't listen to Louis Tomlinson. I'm sure this will shock some of you. Why was it trending on my Twitter?
Probably because you follow me and the implications.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Kill My Time.
Kill My Time.
Good song.
Great song. This song is about cheating, but it's okay because it's a bop.
Yeah.
And the part that pulled this in for my album is he's only got half your heart because I've got the other part. Why don't you just say goodbye now? Line. It's only a matter of time now. And also, I don't want to kill my time with somebody else.
My Instagram post was not about cheating, just so everyone's aware.
Yeah, but this song kind of is.
Yeah.
And I also like, and this is just a completely secondary, so this is from Calm, which also has the song Wildflower on it, and Kill My Time starts with a line that says Wildflower fingertips on me, and I think that's a cute little tie-in.
You say the L in Calm.
As I was saying Calm, I realized I was going real hard on the L. Yeah.
I was a little aggressive there.
It was. But I wanted to, I'm a Luke girl. I wanted to represent.
Also, we all know you're not a Luke girl. No. Apparently Ashton's singing in this. Luke and Ashton do the chorus.
Oh. Good for him.
I know I always say Ashton's a good singer. I just know that because he's put out an album and I listened to it, but I couldn't tell you what he actually sounds like. Like we've talked about this before, being able to differentiate them. Older 5 Seconds of Summer, I can tell them apart much easier. First of all, big Callum fan. Always knowing Callum singing. On 5 Seconds of Summer 5, there was one point where you were like, Kalina, this is Callum singing. I was like, honest to God, couldn't tell you because they all sound the same.
The only person I can pull out in 5 Sauce 5 is Michael because he sounds like aggressively British.
That's not why I can point him out, but he just has he's got that very pop punk sort of tone, so it is very different, but even still, he sounds closer to Luke than he did before. But I can always tell it's him because he's got kind of this, I don't want to say grit, but he's got this sort of rasp, grit, pop punk, very Pete Wentz-y sort of style that you can always tell. But yeah. No, I love this song. My Instagram post was about, I didn't want to spend time with anyone other than my friends. I was not cheating on anyone. I just want to make that completely clear. I do not condone cheating.
No.
Ever.
Here at Don't Quote Me on That, we do not condone cheating at all. But if you're gonna
unless
do
we watch
it,
a movie,
your song better be good.
Be a banger. Actually, I have a playlist, and once I have enough songs in it, we're gonna talk about it, called "Songs About Cheating That Are Actually Okay." And I just realized, "Yeah" by Usher is about cheating, because no one ever listens to the lyrics of that song,
No.
right? Besides the chorus. But apparently in it, he's like, "I really he's like, you got to stop asking me to dance with you because I have a girl at home, and if you ask me one more time, I will come dance with you and sleep with you." That's what the song's about. So he's trying his best. Anyway, there's "Yeah" on there, and "Lips of an Angel" by Hinder, banger.
Okay. Banger.
No business being that good, and he has no business sounding so sad because he's cheating on his girlfriend, but it's a banger.
The song's about cheating?
Yeah, he says, "Honey, why you calling me so late? It's kind of hard to talk right now." Because my girl, sorry, this is the pre-chorus. My girl's in.
Oh,
the next
my girl's
room.
in the next room. Sometimes I wish she was you. Okay.
First of all, if I heard that, murder.
Kill myself. Oh.
What's the other one I always say makes me violent? "Be by Mistake." That's also about cheating. By the 1975, he says, "The smell of your hair reminds me of her feet. I'd kill him, and then myself probably."
Yeah. I couldn't go
first
on.
of all, that's not even
that
his
said to
girlfriend.
me.
That's his side chick. I'm not being your side chick. Go to your girlfriend, clearly. Why are you here? That song makes me violent. It's a good song, unfortunately, but every time I hear that line, I have to take a minute and compose myself.
That's fine.
Anyway, sorry. "Kill My Time." Lovely song.
Kill My Time. Lovely song. There,
So what was before this?
Before this was Blender, yeah.
All right, so we're in an emotional blender, and now he's like, "Listen, we're still kind of emotionally, this is complicated. You're with someone else, but clearly you don't really want him. You want me, baby."
Exactly.
I could be a man.
And now we are. This is.
I'm still not feeling happy though.
That's okay. In all fairness, this is from going from "Kill My Time" to the next song is kind of a harsh turn. Because they don't have a lot of songs about getting back together, which, is that.
So
that's a personal attack
against me. We just jumped straight to marriage.
But not marriage, just they're definitely together now. But I can connect it. Just give me a second. So the song, we're staying on calm. It's about Lover of Mine, or it's called Lover of Mine. And the line that I decided makes it work is, "When I take a look at my life and all of my crimes, you're the only thing that I think I got right, and I'll never give you away because I've already made that mistake."
I have a song that has a similar line, and I cannot wait to talk about that.
But, you see, so we moved very quickly, but we are acknowledging it. Also, I just think this song is really good. I know I said they don't do, ballads well, and I don't think this is technically a ballad, but,
No, this is nice. This was one that I had, listened to the first time I listened to Calm, and then I heard it again while I was going through songs for this album, and it was, it wasn't something I knew of. I knew I wasn't going to put it on my album, but I did save it to, listen to later to put to my playlist.
Yeah, for a while, it was just on my, what I did for this one is I made a for-your consideration for my consideration playlist, and then from there I kind of tried to tease things out. But this song actually made it on the playlist, and apparently he wrote it. Luke and his girlfriend Sierra wrote this together, which is cute.
I'm just seeing that now because the last song they wrote together was bad.
Yes.
Ashton also wrote on this.
Oh, good for Ashton.
According to Google. It's 1, 2, 3 other people, and then Ashton, Luke, and Sierra Dean.
It's a good song. Maybe
there's a couple lines I didn't I don't know, because with the woman they came up with cocaine colored wedding dress, so I'm not
Okay,
convinced.
that's fair.
I like her, but like I'm not convinced. No, there was a couple lines I like didn't understand, but now that I'm skimming through the lyrics here, I do like they kind of seem to have like a theme about color, because in the first one of the first lines is kaleidoscope mind, and then he talks about butterflies which are colorful. He says, I've seen the red, I've seen the blue, and then a little later he says, I know you're colorblind, I've watched the world fall from your eyes. So they're like, I like that there's a little like they got like a little theme going here of color that I just noticed.
Me too.
Okay. I'm with you. I'm still not happy, and I was promised cheeriness, and this is song number 6, so you better bring it home.
I don't know if I said the word cheeriness.
I'm not responsible for what you said. I'm responsible for how I interpreted what you said, and so are you now. So, please. Home
Okay,
run.
we're closing
Hit it out of the
it
park.
with another love song. This song isn't, it's not, the vibe is not happy, but it does have one of the sweetest lines like ever, I believe. We're closing with 5 Sauce 5's track Haze.
I can't believe you didn't cater to me in your perfect 5 Seconds of Summer album. This is ridiculous.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll do better next time.
Won't be a next time at this rate, but okay. Good.
My favorite line in this whole song, and one of my favorite lines in the album, is I've got a piece of your mind and I'm gonna hold on. It's a hell of a ride loving you. And I just think that's sweet.
That is cute. I did just read the... This one did... I didn't really remember it, so I'm looking at the lyrics now, and according to the lyrics, this is very repetitive. But...
Oh, it is.
Oh, that is cute. He talks about when I moved to California, when I lived with 3 little boys, when I didn't even know you, when I was giving up. Oh, now when you pick me up, now I don't have to play pretend, and I am human once again. Sorry.
When I lived with 3 little boys?
I'm just telling you what Google says here. It's
Okay.
Lil as in, not little, like, but Lil like Lil Wayne. I don't know if that makes it better.
Genius says it's when I lived between the bars.
Yeah, Google and Genius need to get together.
Yeah.
Because they're always saying, I was like that, like, I don't like how it's phrased. Like, I really like, shocker, I don't like love songs, which is also a shocker because my album is actually a love story. But I think 5 Seconds of Summer does love songs. I like how they write things. But when we talked about 5 Seconds of Summer 5, we talked about Best Friend. And while I know that was technically about a relationship, I think they should do more songs about their friendship. And I think they had like a brief era, at least when I wasn't really listening to them, but I know they were putting out stuff like, I think Old Me, that whole music video was like them and then their younger selves.
Yes.
I think they do stuff like that really well. So like when I read 3 Little Boys, I was like, I like that, like they moved to California, they're making a dream together. It didn't really make sense in the rhyme scheme either. I'm confused. Somebody's right and my money's on Genius.
Unfortunately, mine is too. But I like where you're going with that. And
Yeah.
I do agree. Old Me and then Best Friends off 5 Sauce 5, very good.
I think, you know what it is? When we talk about how sometimes like a good song is both very personal to the artist, but that at the same time very general and anyone can relate to it. I think when they write about their lives and like, you know, let's say you're writing about a relationship and you're writing about like where you're coming from in the relationship, it needs to be general. So anyone listening to it is like, yeah, I felt that way when I was in love. But at the same time, they add these touches of like, I was just, you know, I was someone trying to make my dream happen, which anyone can say. But then he goes, if he says 3 little boys, you know, I was out there with my best friends trying to make our dream happen. So like, I like how it kind of can do both.
I agree. Also, one of the comments on Genius says that Ashton's part makes this sound like a Weekend song, and get help?
Do something else?
Yeah, like, maybe listen to a Weekend song before you
Yeah.
say things like that.
Sometimes I think that like people hear like I don't even know how to play it. They'll hear like one line maybe that's similar and they're like, they sound the same, and that's not how things work. Not even a little bit. Anyway, I had more crossover than I thought we would.
Yes. But I'm not done.
Oh, sorry.
Hayes completes the circle, and they are back together, and everything's good. Okay, now you can go.
We had more crossover than I thought we would. I don't appreciate you taking me on an emotional journey that was just depressing the entire time.
That's okay. I think that they do that really well. I think.
However, now that I'm thinking about my songs, I don't think my songs ever got happy.
They don't have a lot of pure happy kind of songs.
No, they just got songs with good vibes. Mm-hmm. Because the ones I'm thinking of that are like good bops, like Good Girls. I didn't put Good Girls on my album. Like, it's like you couldn't put where am I gonna fit Good Girls on an album? Like, if I'm trying to tell a story, where does Good Girls go?
It's you put it in the middle as an intermission. Like, that's the snack break song.
If you want to walk away and come back, you can.
Yeah. I also, since you brought up Good Girls, it's from Good Girls is from one of their first two albums. I don't remember which one. I think their second album. Mm-hmm. But like, I think their first two albums were not great. Like at the time when I was 14, they were the best thing ever invented. But I went back and I listened to them, and they don't stand up as much as 14-year-old Elanor thought they were going to, which is kind of a bummer.
I had a similar feeling. I went back and I really liked their older stuff. One thing I texted Elanor about, I was like, this has so much bass, and we all know not just because of Callan, I just like bass. And so like their older stuff had so much more bass. It was a lot more pop punky. But at the same time, I agree, because I know what they are capable. Like, their songs were a lot more fun and a lot more like easily digestible. Like, I could I could throw that album on in the background and have a good time. But because I know what they can do now, and like they can set up a really good vibe and they can write really well. Yeah, it doesn't compare in that sense.
But like Castaway, still a bop. So good. Okay. Are you ready to have the
yes.
the torch passed?
I'm taking the proverbial torch. Okay. I had two potential names for my album. One was Homecoming, because of the story I was telling, and the other was Off the Deep End. Something along those lines. Something about either like you're breaking water because you've been drowning, or you're like jumping into it. We will see why as we go through my story. So, my opener. I'm a simple woman. This is off of Calm. I just think everyone should hear this song once in their lives, and I will never shut up about it. It is also the opener for Calm, and that is Red Desert. Because the first time
what
I heard that song, I had a religious experience.
You did?
And I think everyone should have a religious experience.
It is a beautiful song.
The first time we heard this song, Calm had just come out, and I had gone to visit Elanor in Arizona, and we were like driving, looking at, first of all, Florida, flat as hell, okay? Arizona, not flat in the slightest. There's literal red rocks, okay? They live up to the name, just everywhere. And we are driving through, listening to a song called Red Desert, and I'm looking at the red desert in the car with, I like Elanor or whatever.
We did kind of engineer a perfect experience for that.
Yeah, that is how that song should be heard. But besides all of that, besides it being like a biblical religious experience, okay? I imagine how I felt when I heard Red Desert for the first time is the same way people feel when they talk about seeing like biblically accurate angels.
But less terror?
Except all good.
Yeah,
all good vibes. All good vibes. Same intensity. But this, and I also said this is the album opener of all album openers. Okay, there's a reason I opened my album with it, and there's a reason they opened Calm with it. But for me, this is like, we're kind of at the beginning of a relationship, and the line that really sticks out to me that kind of made me pick this one to kind of begin my story with, besides the obvious reasons, is he says, "You're the only one I do this for." So like, kind of, I kind of use the terminology of like the narrator. So the narrator's like kind of all in the jump. You're like, he likes someone. He says, "Tell me, would you pack up all your bags, stay true to North? You're the only one I do this for." And then he says, "What a blessing to feel your love." So kind of like he thinks them being together will like fix their problems. He talks about like healing their blues, and it doesn't take too long to heal and replace the demons we're running from. They're begging to stay. So like being together will solve their problems. Being together, if they get together, he already likes her or whoever it is. That will make things better. And it's also, I also like it because I think it fits in my story. And then also I like we talked about, album openers need to be strong. I think just on its own, it's such a vibe. It's very spacey, very like kind of transcendental,
Yes.
sort of. So like even if you don't listen to the rest of the album or like aren't paying attention to where the story is going, I think it's just a fun way to like start out strong without being like too in your face about it.
Yeah,
But also, yeah, I love a good set of chorus vocals.
Agree. Also, it's cute that oh man, whatever song we were just talking about that starts with the kaleidoscope mind that I picked for my album, but I don't remember.
Haze? Or Blender?
Lover of Mine.
Haze,
Mine.
maybe. Oh.
Sorry.
See, those are the two.
Yeah.
The other one.
Lover of Mine. They talk about it. This one says red desert, heal our blues, and the other one they say I've seen the red, I've seen the blues. And I like that. That's cute. And then I think the what a blessing to feel your love kind of ties into the thoughts in Haze a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And then also they all sing on this. Like Mike never like it's kind of weird how they do it because like the chorus vocals are all of them. Then the first verse is Luke, and then the second verse is Luke and Callum and all of them. And then we've got Luke and Ashton at the last chorus. It's a weird configuration, but basically they all kind of, except Mike doesn't really have like a Luke and Mike moment, but they all get involved. So I also do like that for opening the album, is they're all part of it in that way. Besides the obvious, them playing instruments. So, next song, also off of Calm. We had some crossover on this one. This is a vibe, 10 out of 10, no notes, it's Kill My Time. Which to me is like the next step in the relationship. I never like, when you said it was about cheating, I was like, that's fair, because I do like that line. Like I don't like the sentiment, but he's only got half your heart because I've got the other part. Why don't you just say goodbye now? I like the delivery. I think it's a really strong line, but I never really took it as cheating. To me, it just kind of seemed like a one-off. It wasn't like the whole song was about that, but I do see where you're coming from. So to me, it was like the next step in the relationship. I was focusing more on the I don't want to kill my time with somebody else. So like initially with Red Desert, he's like, he's first seeing this person. He's like kind of getting, he's getting a little crush on him. Whereas here he's like, no, like you're definitely the one person I don't want to talk to anybody else. I don't want to see anyone else. I want to spend all of my time with you. He says, dancing in the dark till the sun comes, tangled in the sheets till the day is done. In a city full of lonely people like this, want you all to myself. So he's like singled this person out. He's making his intentions known. And I also really like how this song, I feel like it starts off kind of slow and then picks up, but it never like gets fast per se.
It more swells than anything.
Yeah. And I really like how the sentiment is phrased, because even though he's like setting his intentions and he's like, you're the person I want, he's not saying it that plainly. Kind of he's saying it with through the layer of I don't want to kill my time with somebody else. The rest is saying you're the only person that I want. It's kind of putting it behind a little layer because it is still a little early on. And all those other guys you might be seeing or thinking of don't matter because
not compared to him.
Yeah. And then also, actually, back to the color thing. We talked about how in Kill My Time, he's got the Wildflower, which Wildflower is also a song of theirs. But in the bridge, he says, Wildflower, fingertips on me, I can feel them still. Stained hearts trying to find a home. So kind of back to the whole, I see the red, I see the blue, the whole color scheme we've got going on here. So that's interesting that they've got, I wonder if they did that intentionally. Oh, and then also, he says, take you on a desert drive.
I was just about to pull that one out.
Kind of connected to my Red Desert. So I for me 303, I worked so hard to like make sure the songs flowed into each other very, very well, whereas here I think they go together, but necessarily the end of one song doesn't necessarily flow into the beginning of the other, but I don't think it took away from it. So I'm really happy with how they came out in that sense. Also, this is track 13 on Calm, so I kind of went from the beginning of Calm straight down to the end, which I'm starting to think might be my favorite 5 seconds of song album.
It's
or up there.
good.
It's got some Like, it's like the songs that are good on it are really good, you know?
And the songs that are bad are just kind of forgettable and not like bad like some of them. Yeah.
Bad. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So that brings me to track number 3. It is described as a bass-heavy track about the highs and lows of a relationship. So I'm sure we are all shocked about why I picked this one. Who could imagine? This is also off of Calm. It is their second single off of it. However, I did not go with the album version. I went with the world famous, everyone should have this tattooed on their forehead, vault version of Teeth.
Yes. I agree.
It was between Teeth and Easier because they both have vault versions that are just absolutely fantastic. However, Teeth went with my story better. Because this is kind of like, it says it's about the highs and lows of a relationship, which is what I was going with. It was like, sometimes a relationship is good, sometimes it's bad. In the opening, he says, sometimes you're a stranger in my bed. I don't know if you love me or you want me dead. Push me away, then beg me to stay. Also, so much bass, so much Callum singing. Call me in the morning to apologize. Every little lie gives me butterflies. Something in the way you're looking through my eyes. I don't know if I'm going to make it out alive. So kind of like, he's never been sure where he stands. Because at the beginning, we're seeing all this from his point of view. So at the beginning, he like has a crush on her. Then he's making his intentions known. But we're never really like sure where she's in on this. Versus that one kind of line about her, you know, I've got your, he's only got half your heart because I've got the other part. So clearly she's not quite as all in as he is. So here he's like, okay, we're in a relationship. Like, I really don't know what you want from me. I don't know if you like me or if you're just here because there's nothing else going on. So talk so pretty, but your heart's got teeth. So like, you look nice and you sound nice, but like in reality, your bite's also killing me.
Such a good song.
I like that.
Such a good song.
And like the
vault
version came out, I was like, why honestly, don't all of their songs sound like this?
Is this the vault version where one of them's like tied to the ceiling, or is that Easier? Because whichever one that is made me like men a lot more.
I'll look it up. I actually can't remember. I think Easier is the one where he's tied up. I think so too. But I will double check it because I usually listen to Teeth, not Easier, and I know I usually listen to the one where they were not tied up.
I think they're tied up in a cave in Easier. I think that's what it is. Okay.
Yes. Where he's like, it's kind of like blue lighting. Yeah, that's Easier, is where they're tied up. Like I said, I wanted to go with Easier. But to me, that was more like, if I put it, it would have been later on in the album. I'll give you a spoiler. Easier's not on this. I would have put it a little easier because he says it's easier to stay as easier to go. So kind of like when he's come to terms with like, this is in fact over and I don't want it to be. Like, I don't know, like if I should just bite the bullet and leave. But this is like, no, I really want this. I'm like, I got you, which is what I wanted. But like, you're kind of keeping me on my toes all the time. Some days you're the best thing in my life. Sometimes when I look at you, I see my wife, and then you turn into somebody I don't know.
Such a good song.
So like, oh, and we talked about butterflies earlier, and kind of with our whole color theme. So they talk about butterflies here. Every little lie gives me butterflies. There's just so much bass.
So much bass.
And then also, it always makes me think of, I told you, I like the line where he says, I remember what song it was, but I remember the roses on your shirt when you told me this would never work. In one of the songs you had picked. And I always think of that line, because in the bridge he says, blood on my shirt, rose in my hand. And then later he says, blood in my shirt, heart in my hand, still beating. So I just like that little
good
it's
song.
Such a good song. Like, I remember when I first heard it, and I was like, who's writing a song called Teeth? Like, what? And, like, the music video was, like, them in a dentist's office at the beginning, I think. So I was, like, really confused, and I was not prepared to have my life change watching this video of them in a dentist's office. Because my life was changed, okay?
Yeah,
it was life-changing.
Totally agree. I can't blame you for that.
I think, like, Luke's in a dentist's office. Michael is, like, climbing a ladder or something, if I remember. They were all, like, doing weird things. And I was like, where is this song going? And then it
went there, and it was...
be my favorite song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just wormed its way in my heart. So, anyway, that's Teeth. What was that, track number 4? Yeah, 4. So, as you can see, we kind of stuck with Calm. Kind of keeping them all till the beginning. What is that, 4 songs I got off of Calm?
This is...
Yeah. Good.
This is 3rd.
I can't count. Yeah, okay. 3 songs off of Calm.
Do you have this written down?
Something. Okay. I do. Okay. That's the worst part, as I do have it written down.
Because
I feel like that's more embarrassing.
We've had Red Desert, Kill My Time, Teeth. Yeah?
Teeth. Okay. So
Okay.
next song. I'm not actually sure what album this is off of because for a long time you couldn't listen to this song anywhere. I think they like only put it out on streaming recent. I don't know. There was something weird going on. Kind of like that song where When You Walk Away. I think like When You Walk Away is only on like the deluxe Target version of the album or like the Japanese version of the album. So like this song I think was like a similar thing because I remember for a long time I could only listen to it on YouTube, and then recently I was able to add it to my Spotify playlist. But according to the album artwork here, it looks like it was off of Don't Stop, or like what probably when they were doing their Don't Stop singles. Anyway, Eleanor's looking real confused, so I'll end the suspension. It's Wrapped Around Your Finger, which is a banger. That's a banger. It's all Michael. I have no notes. I think this is one of the first 5 seconds of summer songs I like, or like probably the first 5 seconds of summer song I got obsessed with. Like even when I wasn't listening to 5 seconds of summer, I would go look for this song because it would haunt me in my dreams at night. And this is like also best example of Michael's vocals, especially early Michael, where he's like, I think one thing about pop punk vocals and vocals like his is like sometimes not even about technique and like skill. It's like the tone and like sometimes like they're not the best singers but they sound really good. That's this song. And for me, now the narrator, my main character in my album is like realizing he's being played. Like he's finally coming to terms with that.
I don't know this song at all.
Oh my god, Eleanor, you have to go listen to this song, okay? It's so good. Okay, the pre-chorus is, you were mine for a night, I was out of my mind. You were mine for a night, I don't know how to say goodbye. Making all our plans in the Santa Cruz sand that night. I thought I had you in the palm of my hand that night. Screaming at the top of my lungs till my chest felt tight. I told myself that I'm never going to be all right. And the chorus is just Michael going, you had me wrapped around your finger. I'm wrapped around your finger. Which I can't do it justice saying.
I will listen to it as soon as
Oh my god, it's fantastic. But like it's like the premise is very simple. The first verse is, I was throwing rocks at your window. You met me in your backyard. In the moonlight, you look just like an angel in disguise. My whole life seemed like a postcard. And the rest of the song is, you were mine for a night, and how you had me wrapped around your finger. So like, even though he knows better, like you look like an angel. He's looking up at her. He's trying to get her to come down because he loves her so much. But like, he's being played, and he knows that. But to him, it's still poetic because he's not saying anything negative against her. Because being wrapped around someone's finger isn't inherently negative. So he's just saying, like, you had me at your beck and call. It would, every whim. But it's not inherently negative. So he's not quite fully over her, but he's, like, coming to terms, at least within himself, that, like, he's the sucker in this scenario. So, yeah, it was my album was not happy. I don't think
mine
happy,
either.
I'll be honest with you. Mine wasn't depressing about a breakup, though.
They
it's
got
just
back
him, like,
together.
going through the emotions of a relationship.
Okay? There was a...
But, like, should they have?
Yes. Because in Castaway, it was, like, young love, and they had to go through a maturation process. I thought... Kalina, I've been so bored at work. I spent 3 days this week only working on this. This is my...
No, this was really fun. No, I'm just messing with you. I think we went on sad journeys, just like different
I will say,
ways.
I searched for Wrapped Around Your Finger on Apple Music. It's not on there. I searched for it on YouTube, and one of the first things that came up was them performing it in Phoenix when I was definitely in the crowd. So when I listen to it, I might have flashbacks, but I can't pull this song out.
Yeah, no, I think, like I told you, I probably put it on Spotify. I was probably able to add to my playlist like maybe a month ago. So I think they like finally, I know like with When You Walk Away, which also banger, it's like a thing where like they didn't have the rights to it technically, so like they have to wait a couple years. So I think they might have gotten the rights to Wrapped Around Your Finger now. But oh my god, it's so good. You had me wrapped around your finger. I'm wrapped around you. It's so good when he says
okay.
It.
I'm excited for it.
Anyway, that was track number 4. Yes. Going on track number 5, which was off of what Eleanor said might be her favorite 5 Seconds of Summer album, which is Youngblood. This is the 3rd track off of Youngblood. And now we're sad, okay? Now we have fully admitted to ourselves and to her, this is not working. She does not love you like you love her. okay? But he's like, listen, it's okay. Just when I ask you this question, don't tell me the truth. Because this song is Lie to Me. I thought Eleanor would like this because we got some changing flight discussion. We do like some lines about that when we talked about Måneskin. And the chorus, I wish we never met because you're too hard to forget. While I'm cleaning up your mess, I know he's taking off your dress. And I know that you don't. But if I ask you if you love me, I hope you lie to me. Which also, actually, I didn't even realize this before, but this works really well with Kill My Time, with he's only got half your heart because I've got the other part. So now, like, clearly, you don't have half a heart. You were fooling yourself then, too. So he says, I ain't too happy. No. Flashing back to New York City. Changing flights, so you stay with me. And then this was the line that, like, devastates me every time I hear it was, problem was, I thought I had this right. So, like, he's doing everything he can. He's doing his best. And, like, and he repeats that more than once. He repeats it in both of in the first pre-chorus. He says, I remember thinking that I got this right. And then the last one he says, the problem was I thought I had this right. So, like, I did everything right. I loved you. And, like, I know you don't feel the same. But, like, just please, for the sake of my mind. Okay, I know you know. You know I know. We all know. But just don't tell me the truth. I can't handle that right now.
Whew.
Just lie to me.
Such a good song.
I'll deal with that in the morning.
Good song.
Because he says, it's 3 a.m. and the moonlight's testing me, but if I can make it till dawn, then it won't be hard to see. So he's like, I'll deal with this later. Just right now, just let's live in this little bubble I've created where we're in love and happy. And it's just the two of us.
If I ask you if you love me.
I debated putting this on here because it's so sad.
So good.
Every time I hear problem was I thought I had this right, I get real emo about it. But, like, I the way I wrote it is he's finally admitted it to himself, but he's still begging for these scraps of, like, let him live in this delusion a little longer. He'll face the music someday, just not right now.
Beautiful song. No notes.
Thank you.
Actually,
and I'm actually
sorry. One note, they have a version of this with Julia Michaels, and I have not listened to it in years.
It's bad.
But I don't remember being enthused by it at all. I don't remember thinking she added anything to it, which sucks because she is a very good songwriter.
Don't worry. I have thoughts. That was stupid. You should not do a feature if your feature just sings a verse that was already on there.
That's what it was.
Your feature needs to bring another verse. And then it wasn't even like she sang the verse with, like, more emotion than Luke did. Okay, Luke was delivering on this. Problem was, I thought I had this right. He was giving it. Okay, Julia Michaels, no offense, blah, was not feeling it. And then also, I don't think I'm really liking how this ties in when he talks about how he's taking off your dress with the earlier song. But I don't think it made any sense to have have a woman sing on the song, because the song is about him singing to. And, like, obviously, you know, there could be any configuration of genders or gender identities in a relationship. But, like, to me, it just didn't make sense because, especially at the time, it was very clear they were writing about women. It didn't make sense to me, him being, like, so devastated over a woman, to have a woman come in and sing equally devastating.
Yeah, unless it was, like, a different perspective, which it wasn't.
That's what I was going to say. Back to the original point, which is she shouldn't, like, if you're going to have a feature, I never think a feature should just come in and sing a verse on a song that was already in there. Especially not the chorus, which I think she sang the chorus.
So too.
So, yeah, no, I think that was around the time I was, like, kind of off the 5 Seconds of Summer train. That, like, that did not help the situation. And the music video was cool. I mean, like, sitting in a racetrack and, like, a burnt out car. It looks really sick. Yeah, but, like, no, because everywhere I would go, I would hear, like, on the radio they would play the Julia Michaels version. I was like, the original, so much better.
So much better.
A man saying, and I, like, just sounding devastated while he's going, I know that you don't, but if I ask you if you love me, lie to me. Beautiful. Julia Michaels saying that? Not great, because the whole time it sounds like he was singing to her, and she was like, lie to me.
Like, you already,
how did we get here, Julia Michaels? Please explain. You are lying to him. Anyway. Sorry. That's our little rant about lie to me.
Track 5? 6?
Track 5. Track number 6 is another crossover of ours off of the it's the 10th track on the Aussie band 5 Seconds of Summer sophomore album Sounds Good Feels Good, released worldwide by Capitol Records on October 23rd, 2015. And that is Castaway.
Because it's a banger.
It's a banger. There's no notes. It's a banger. But now we're at the end of the relationship. Quite literally, he says, "Young love, close a chapter. There's no ever after. I fell fast, ended faster." I think that sums up everything. He fell in love with her fast, and it ended even quicker than it started. Nothing left but picture frames. And I just keep on... Listen, the chorus gets stuck in my head regularly. How do we drift so far away from where we left off yesterday? I'm lonely like a castaway. Heartbreak that I can't escape. A sinking ship I'll never save. I'm lonely like a castaway.
Bars.
And like one of the reasons I like this song outside of my album is I think it is general. Okay, because sometimes Eleanor and I, we're about to hit one of our 3 things, Eleanor. We move countries a lot. I don't live at home, okay? I have not lived at home for any consistent period of time since I was 17 years old. Okay? I'm 23 now. That's not fun, okay? I like my life. I have a great life. It's not easy. And so sometimes, especially when you move to a country, and like, I don't know, but like, sometimes when you're finally like, it's like the first day you're like, oh, I'm here. I'm considering this home now. It's like that couple months in usually, you're like finally not so focused on the fact that you're not home, but like, this is your home. Or like now that I'm leaving, I just think the chorus of "How'd we drift so far away from where we left off yesterday" works for that. It works for like friendship. It just works for everything in your life. Because things can change that quickly. So, a beautiful song. We get a lot of Michael in here, which is, I think, listen, no offense to Luke. I don't want everyone to think I'm like ragging on Luke. Luke can sing. He's a good singer. Just for my personal taste, Michael's just, especially for their older stuff and the type of music I think they were at least trying to make or should have been making. Michael just got the voice for it. And then I like Callum, not just because I like Callum. I do think he has just a nice, distinct
He does.
sound.
And part of it is maybe, at least for me, part of it is Luke is on a majority of the song. So when there are other singers, it stands out a little bit more.
Yeah, it gives it a lot more, gives it this dynamic that the other songs don't have. And then this is part of the reason we talked about liking 5 Seconds of Summer, not to sound pretentious, but I like that you can tell there's a difference that's made when the bands play their instruments. Because that's the same thing about Måneskin. So like I think equally when they all sing on the songs, it just feels much more collaborative, much more coherent because they're all a part of it in that way. Also, this is not a 5 Seconds of Summer song, but when he said in the pre-chorus, they say "nothing left but picture frames," which always makes me think of that song by, I think it's "If You Wanted a Song Written About You, You Should Have Just Asked" by Mayday Parade, which I love that song. And the opening line is, "I'm throwing away pictures that I never should have taken in the first place," which also will always get me. So I just like the imagery. When Eleanor was like, "This is pirate themed," I was like, I don't know how he got here, but like, I kind of get how he got here. I mean,
I thought you'd like it. I thought you'd make a little Peter Pan connection.
I did like it. I have complicated thoughts and feelings about Peter Pan, and
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
We're gonna be here forever. Did I tell you how I saw a post on Instagram that was like finding out that this guy was meant to direct Peter Pan, right? And then that was the first clip, is the person like sitting down, and over the text is like finding out, I don't remember the guy's name, but this guy was meant to direct Peter Pan in 2003, which is the only Peter Pan I recognize. Okay, I do not, whatever the animated Disney version was, not fucking with that, right? But I'm talking about the live action version with Jason Isaacs. Okay. Then the next part of the video is a clip of John Mulaney talking about Princess Diana's death. And I would like everyone to guess what the name of Princess Diana's boyfriend at the time was that died with her in the car. I'll tell you, it's the same guy that was meant to direct the live action version of Peter Pan that definitely did irreparable damage to my psyche and changed the trajectory of my life. And I didn't need that information at 9:00 on a Tuesday, but I got it.
I'm sorry I brought up Peter Pan.
So your own fault. You have yourself to blame and no one else. I was keeping quiet out of respect. You were being so normal. But unfortunately, did irreparable damage to my psyche and changed the trajectory of my life. The other movie that changed the trajectory of my life is about a horse. Is that better or worse?
What's your closing
You
track?
did like it. Hey, you said it was a good movie, okay? You're like, nope, I get it. So, whatever. Anyway, my closing song was not a song I had heard before doing this. And it was off of Sounds Good, Feels Good. You know what? I think I gave up around Sounds Good, Feels Good, because they had She's Kind of Hot, and that song was a song that they wrote, and they definitely put words. But anyway, that's not the song I picked. This is off of Sound Good, Feel Good. It says track number 19. So much bass. I think it's almost entirely Callum. And that, my friends, is Over and Out. I don't know if this is a deep cut, but like I had never heard of the song before. Yeah. So you got 2 songs to listen to, Elanor, when you go. Wrap Around Your Finger and Over and Out. And it's Callum and Michael, but it's like mostly Callum. Michael sings like 1 or 2 verses maybe. And this one is about... Basically, you know when you're like on a walkie-talkie, you say over and out. That's him. He says, because of you, I'm gone for good, and that's me over and out. So I'm left with pockets of regret, swear I won't forget. The tragedy of success is believing in second chances.
Okay. Sorry, it was on the She's Kinda Hot EP that I did not listen to because I didn't realize that the songs were different.
Yeah, I was so confused when I was doing this because some of them were like Don't Stop, but like Don't Stop was a track off of a different album, but then they had a Don't Stop EP that I was like, there's so many things happening. But anyway, I thought it was off of She's Kinda Hot because the album art says She's Kinda Hot, but according to Genius, it says 5 Songs of Summer, track 19 on Sounds Good, Feels
According
Good.
to Apple Music, it's from the She's Kinda Hot EP.
Oh, I'm sorry. This might be an Aware When You Walk Away vibe situation because it says Sounds Good, Feels Good, Japanese edition if you scroll down. Which When You Walk Away is also, that's also only on their Japanese version and then like on Target exclusive. So
big enough in Japan to be doing all that?
Apparently.
Okay.
I don't know because When You Walk Away, I think we deserve that release as a single. 5 Seconds of Summer, if you're listening to this, we deserve When You Walked Away everywhere. On streaming services and everywhere you could possibly put it, please put it there because I'm tired of just having to go to YouTube every single time. Thank you. Anyway, Over and Out. I'm a little bit biased. When I first heard this, I was like, I gotta fit this in somewhere if I can because I love Callum and I like a heavier sound. It's not super heavy, but like it just got this good vibe. But the reason I picked it is I'm gone for good and that's me over and out. So kind of like he's finally done with her. So after he's like asked her to lie to him and let him live in this little bubble just a little bit longer and finally like one of them has ended it. We've drifted so far away. Now he's like, you know what? I'm awake in my own head, but I'm gone for good because of you. I'm gone for good. I'll be brand new. And he says, you can break me down just like you did before. Because of you, I'm gone for good. And that's me over and out. So take me as I am, take me for everything, replacing who I am with who I'd rather be. So she didn't like him, obviously, and he's like, look, you can take it or leave it. This is what it is. And if not, I'm over and out. Someone else will appreciate it. And I just want Callum Hood to know that someone is me. I appreciate it. Okay. But yep, that's my
That's cute to end it on a song that ends with Over and Out. I think that's a good touch.
Yeah, and I liked it because I felt like the whole time my vibe, like we said, they don't really do like boppy songs, except for like Good Girls, which obviously I'm not ending on Good Girls. I probably shouldn't have actually. That would have been a great idea. He's like, how do we drift so far away? Anyway, one time I met this girl and she pretended to be nice, but she just didn't get her window to hook up with her boyfriend. No, I am an English love affair. I pull a Elanor, okay? I surprise the world. I'm sick of that song solely because every time I hear it, Elanor has to tell me the story that I know, okay? But we go from how do we drift so far away to where we left off yesterday to anyway, I'm having an affair with with this guy's sister. We're not in a relationship. We're just hooking up and we're having a great time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hideaway in Wayfair. All the green good there.
Anyway, I didn't want to end on like anything too happy, even though it was like a positive note. But like, I imagine when you're coming out of a relationship, especially one like that, where like he's clearly been the sucker, quote unquote, for lack of a better phrase, this entire time. He's feeling positive, but like still probably not like fantastic. You know, he's got some stuff to work through.
It's good.
But he loves himself enough to let her go. Whereas before, 2 songs before, he was like, I don't love myself enough. Please lie to me. Deceive me. It's okay. I can take it.
This is a good album. I like the journey. I like the bass.
But you see, that's why I was going with like kind of into the deep end or like something like that. Kind of like we're jumping into a relationship and then you're like coming up for air after you realize it wasn't all that great. But also Homecoming because he's coming back to himself. That's why I was kind of torn between the two.
I could see like
Also probably because I'm going
like
home.
old me fitting onto this as well at the end sort of thing.
Yeah. I also had 2011 was kind of like a shortlist contender, which I hadn't heard before, but I think 2011 deserved to be on 5 Seconds of Summer 5, and I think that would have made that a better album.
I kind of agree. I think we could kick out...
No hate to 5 Seconds of Summer 5.
We could kick out a couple of songs and just add 2011 and be good.
I would have kicked... There's like 5 songs I would pull down and replace it with 1 song.
Yeah.
It's grown on me because I've listened to some of them more, but I posted about it on our TikTok, and everyone in the comments was like, you mean you didn't listen to Best Friend and Cry? No. I don't know what album y'all were listening to. Wasn't the same one I listened to.
Best Friends is good.
It didn't make me cry. I don't know if it was Best Friends, but like that didn't make me cry.
The album did not make me cry.
Nothing on there made me cry.
Well, like it could have made me cry, but not in the sense that the song was good. You know, just like in the sense that we could have
This song didn't change your brain chemistry? No. Go to the doctor.
Please, get a therapist.
Go listen to Castaway and then come talk to me about brain chemistry.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what else I wanted to put on here? Outer Space, but I don't like the last half of Outer Space, like Airplane or something. I don't like the second half, the second song, but Outer Space, mind-blowing. Brain chemistry, all 3, okay? Go listen to that and then come back to me and talk to me about 5 Seconds of Summer 5.
Yeah, literally put any song. Yeah, put Kill My Time
that's not
up
on that
to
album.
any song on 5/5 and tell me, like, really, come on.
Or like I did one of those this or that. It was like this or that 5 Seconds of Summer edition, and like I think it was Take My Hands on that album. And Take My Hands good, but they put it up against Ghost of You. Ghost of You is gonna clear every time.
This is a phrase I've recently started using. Goated, and I know I started using it about 3 years too late.
I love Elanor using that. I like when you say that. It's so funny. It is goated. Ghost of You is goated. Although I always compare it to My Chemical Romance's Ghost of You, which unfortunately My Chemical Romance is going to clear every time in that department.
That's fair.
Nothing to do with how the music video has 2 brothers in it. That's got nothing to do with why I like that song so much. The problem was the first time I heard that song, I also watched the video, and then I was just ruined. Anything about brothers, we all know. I have to take it on. It's my personality.
So...
Speaking of brothers, I'm going to go so I can go see my
Thank you so much for listening. We will be back soon with something.
If you want us to, we had a couple ideas. Oh, well, one, if you have any suggestions for like albums we could do, we make our perfect album, let us know. And then also we were thinking of like maybe doing like a deluxe version. So if you want to hear more thoughts, like some of the songs that were like on our short list for these albums that we cut out, we could talk about like why we cut them out and where we would have put them if we kept them. So we'll do like a deluxe version of 5 Seconds of Summer, 303, whatever you want. But comment if you like that idea or if you have any other artists you want to hear us talk about.
And thank you, and we will see you soon.
Thanks for listening. Don't quote me on that. One day we'll have an outro, but it's not today.